Hey, Michael, I have a question. Have you ever thought why they always package Oktoberfest in one time of the year? Why don't they just package it goodness and release it all year round? God damn it, I want that beer. I love that beer. It's so good.
Hey guys, welcome back to We Watch a Movie. This is Nightmare on Elm Street 3. Dream Warriors, dun-dun-dun-dun-dun-dun. You wanna fuck the sky?
I don't. I never wanted to do that, but yeah, I want to touch the sky.
Oh my god, one of the best entries in the Nightmare on Elm Street franchise.
For me, my favorite.
But it's got some goddamn problems, Sanchez, and we're going to talk about all of those. So basically this movie is, what it is the final children from Elm Street that Freddy's got to kill off are in a fucking mental asylum led by Patricia Arquette just because she looks like the type of person who is strung out at all times. She's perfect in that
But she also
role.
looks like the snooty little bitch that would be in your class that knows all the answers before you. And like, it's the square root of 5, like, fucking bitch.
I don't get that. I get the shit.
No, because she would be like, she'd be the outsider, but she'd be like the super smart outsider, and you'd be like, I don't need you to fucking like make me look bad.
I don't know, I feel like she'd be the chick in Breakfast Club eating the Captain Crunch sandwich, but she'd also look cool doing it.
No.
I like Patricia Arquette.
She's cool, though.
I like her a lot. So basically, these last kids from Elm Street are in a mental asylum together. She's there, and nobody believes them. They're all having these fucked up dreams. They're getting killed off and shit like that.
They don't believe them about their nightmares?
Heather Lane camp. Nancy shows up, and apparently, since all the shit that happened during part 1 that they don't explain, shows up, and she's a fucking, pharmacist at CVS.
Question 1, where the fuck is Johnny Depp?
So she tries to help him, this doctor fucking asshole Neil. Fucking Neil.
Neil wants it bad. Neil is so fucking, he is so manipulative.
He's Neil, right?
Yeah, Neil.
Never forget
Neil
an asshole's
wants
name.
that fucking vagina so bad that he fucking will do anything and everything, even prescribing drugs that are not FDA approved to get that Nancy tail.
Yeah.
And it never worked out for him, but
so
either way.
These kids all get, they realize that they have special powers in Dreamland, and Patricia Arquette's character is an asshole who can accidentally pull other people into her fucked up dreams. Like girls do sometimes.
I would be so pissed off. You imagine having a great dream about like some, cool shit, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know, like...
Sex with your math teacher.
Yeah, sex with your math teacher and not waiting on any lines at all at a theme park of your choosing. You just ride every fucking ride.
That's good shit.
I know, and then all of a sudden you're pulled into a fucking boiler room.
I want a roller coaster anywhere near my dreams.
I would roller coaster her fucking ass.
Every time
not in that good
I'm
way.
in any heights at whatsoever in my dreams, I always end up falling, and it sucks. I hate those dreams.
Just land on your feet, bro.
I can't.
Okay, well, we already mentioned her a few times, so we'll go ahead and talk about it. Kirsten, or Patricia Arquette's character, Kirsten. She's a damaged girl, obviously, suffering from fucking sleep deprivation because she can't sleep, but she does do a hell of a crafts and arts. With the fucking very beginning of this movie, she's showing her making the nightmare house with, I don't know, fucking glue and popsicle sticks. And she's doing a great job, but then her mom fucking comes in and disturbs her. Fuck you, mom, I should have got a lock. And then tells her to get to bed, Kirsten. And the thing about these kids on these Elm Street, some of them look like the age of like 17-year-olds, but some of them look like they're probably still in like maybe in their 20s.
Yeah. And
I was just thinking, aren't you old? And like, you'd be like, Mom, I can sleep if I want. I can go out on a Saturday night like that.
I think in her case, it was a situation where her life was so fucked up that she was still under mom's rule. But her mom was a fucking asshole, man. Like, her mom was too worried about Greg downstairs trying to get his drink on. Like, Carla, where's the fucking bourbon?
Which is, you know what?
And her mom owned it. Her mom was in Bad Moms the sequel. She was like, yeah, I'm waiting on that man downstairs and his penis. And I'm going to get him some fucking bourbon, Patricia.
Well, I mean, we've all been there before. Bob, meaning every other guy, has had to date a girl with a kid before. All you want's the fucking bourbon for your Saturday night. But anyhow, and by the way, I just think it's funny. I know going off a little, but why is Bob, or whatever his fucking name is, like just going through her cabinets? You just got her house, like, where's the bourbon? Like, I would be thinking if I was a lady, like, I think I've brought home an alcoholic.
Yeah, bring something better home. But Patricia Arquette's character, I love that badass opening because you get the popsicle stick house. Shout out to @Monstrous on Instagram, by the way. On one of our unboxing, she actually makes those shits. So I'll put her name below.
Good shits.
It's badass. But she's making those things, and I love that scene, dude, because she does something nasty in that scene. Like, we've all wanted to be kids and stay up as late as possible. You're drinking Red Bull or whatever. Back in this day, though, Freddy could get you because you didn't have no fucking Red Bull. She had goddamn coffee grounds, that like Insta coffee, that nasty shit. It's nasty if you put water in it, but she was taking that shit by the spoonful and drinking it and downing some Diet Coke. It's the sweet one.
Well, the thing is, it was done before. Well, it was done, I guess, after Mr. Bean did it. because he was running late for work and he was but anyhow, yeah, so she finally does go to sleep after Mama Alcoholic tells her to get in the bed because I want to fuck this guy. And she goes to sleep, she has the dream, the nightmare, she goes to the house that she was making, the creepy fucking thing. I mean, I don't know why she wasn't making like a PJ Sparkles house, but whatever. And so she goes, oh my god. Did you guys ever watch that show back in the day? It always feel gleeful inside. It made me feel happy, but anyhow, so she goes to the house in her dream. It's Freddy's home, we all know that. She sees a little girl riding around on a tricycle, and you know, I'm just not understanding some of these people's mindsets. Like she's like, little girl's like riding on a tricycle. I'm like, what the fuck? I would be like really suspicious about this little girl in her dress. But she chases the little girl into the house after she goes. She's like, Freddy's home. I was like, well, her dad's home. Good for her. It's like, how do I get out?
You guys have any slice?
Is there an extra? Like, is there like a door somewhere? I'd be that Truman Show. I was like, look, hitting the wall. I'll be trying to get out of the dream. But anyway, she's I guess a good girl, so she chases after the little girl, goes in the house, saves the little girl because she doesn't want Freddy to get her. We do have a kind of a throwback to the first one because she gets caught in the blood hallway and then you see Freddy goes like, ha! But then when she wakes up, it's not over there, Sanchez, because she goes to the bathroom to kind of like splash water on her face and come back to reality. And when she does, Freddy like uses the handles for the, but you know, everybody's had those drunk moments where you're like fucking sink won't cooperate. But in this case, the sink handles become claws of Freddy. You see Freddy's face and
cool scene.
Slashes her wrists. Her mom opens the door and she's like, Kirsten, I'm drunk. And then she's like, Mom, oh fuck. And then she passes out because then it looks like she tried to kill herself. Smart move, Fred.
Pretty much the same scene as This Is the End of the World or whatever, for the Seth Rogen movie with those guys, or This Is the End,
yeah.
When they open up the door and Michael Cera's drinking a Capri Sun while a girl eats his butt. Like, what, Mom?
This is a typical Tuesday.
Someone edit that shit together and make that a video, because that'd be fucking awesome.
But yeah, so afterwards, she's taken to, I don't know what the name of the facility is called. It's a dream, it's not a dream, it's basically a crazy house for these kids. And
Big Mama's house.
Her mom, Medea, you know, is the main person in charge.
Lawrence.
But anyhow,
Norbit.
Tyler Perry's there too. But so she takes her this home, this institute for the kids that have like these problems with their dreams and shit. She actually does, for once, a good mom thing. That's what you want to do, is you have your kid get some help. But in the middle of it,
she's a bitch about it though.
I know, but well,
$5 fine. You lost the scholarship. You can't go.
You can never get there. But yeah, it is funny because when she's like trying to, you know, Neil comes in and he's like, I just want to help these kids, Barbara. Or I
got this at JCPenney.
Or that old fucking nurse.
Your fucking Loomis dress is better than fucking Neil. God, I hate you, Neil, you piece of shit.
Loomis is a god.
Can we talk about Neil for just a second?
Yeah.
Are we there? Can we get into
Neil
this fucking steak of ass?
What? Well, we're there pretty much, so we'll go ahead.
I just want you to know I fucking hate you, Neil.
I like Neil.
As of now, I don't like you, and as of now, I'm all over you. I fucking hate that guy.
That means you really like him.
Listen, Neil is supposed to be the psychiatrist or whatever, but he's just this douchebag from the 80s that just, I don't fucking know, dude. Just his face, his hair, the way he dresses, he's just a cunt.
Doesn't he look like he'd be like an extra on Harry and the Hendersons?
Yeah, but he'd be the asshole character.
Yeah.
But
you get that goddamn ape away from my house.
He's all about, I'm all about these kids and trying to help them until Leatherhanger,
Biscuits
and Barbara.
Leatherhanger's coming.
Barbara, can you bring me that Clorox from the sink?
He wants to drink it.
Hey, but no, until Heather Langenkamp shows up, and we'll get to that, but when she shows up, all of a sudden, he couldn't give a fuck less. He just wants to take her out for a nice Thai dinner, and every single scene they show him, he'll do whatever she says, because he wants to put his wiener in her.
Well,
and then he could give a fuck less about the kids.
We've all been there.
But he's so flip-floppy, he can't make up his fucking mind. The whole goddamn entire movie, he's like, I believe you, but I don't. I believe you, but I don't. Hey,
give me the money!
Hoo-ha.
Give me the money!
Jesus.
Give me back my son!
I can hear you.
But yeah, so Neil is the
I don't like him.
is the main lead therapist on this whole group.
It looks like he has skid marks.
But the reason why we say that Kirsten's mom's a bitch is because when she admits her, you can hear Kristen screaming clearly in the background that she doesn't want to go to sleep and she's trying to cut people and shit. And then she's like, she's just doing this for attention. And then I'm like, damn, bitch, have a heart. Fuck.
I gotta get to happy hour.
Because even like the nurse is like, okay, and when did you start becoming a cunt? So then we, rush in there, and then Neil runs in, he's like, we're not here to hurt you, seriously. And by the way, we also get introduced in this scene to, oh my fucks, Lawrence Fishburne. Yeah. Max. I love Max in this movie. Max is a really cool underused character, and I thought Lawrence Fishburne, even for the small part that he had, you could see that he definitely had the strides in his undies to make a star.
He had that Lawrence Fishburne. He
had that fucking star power from Mario Brothers, like like he knew he was gonna be good one day. So, but he's like in there trying to get Kirsten, and she slices that.
Motherfucker wore that smock like a prince.
I know, but you could see Lawrence Fishburne morph into Morpheus for a second, because when she slices his arm, he's like, fucking bitch, you gonna get it. But then, Neil's like, it's okay, don't worry about it, it's okay. And she's like, you don't understand, 1, 2, Freddy's coming for you. And then Nancy pops up like Houdini, is like, 3, 4, it's like, where did you learn that rhyme?
I'm that new girl in town.
And then she's like badass, she just walks up and is like, give me this scalpel. like not even afraid. And then she hugs her.
Dangerous Minds, Michelle Pfeiffer type shit.
We got the introduction of Nancy coming back into the fold. And Nancy really doesn't explain much about where she's been. We'll talk about Nancy, because she's not really she doesn't really have much background in this. They just glaze over what happened at the end of the first one. Maybe the most you get out of this movie is that her mom just killed herself, or that's at least what she's come to accept, or maybe not accept, but that's just the believable story that everybody's passed on.
She did.
Well, she did. She got sucked through the fucking door. But anyhow,
I think they explained it as though
each got her
killed her.
No, yeah, well,
she died in the bed.
It'd be funny if John Saxon's character's like, your mother was fucking a man on fire. She's a whore. But anyhow, so they don't really explain her background, except that she did go to school. She became like a dream therapist or whatever, and that's why she's there to help these kids who are like suffering really bad.
Freddy's like a Brad Pitt in Fight Club. He's just here to help you make a career choice.
Mm-hmm. Good on you. Go to Arizona State University. Or is it Phoenix University? Whatever that online bullshit is. But anyhow, so that's where Nancy comes in, and she's...
Shit sandwiches.
She's good. I mean, I like Heather Langenkamp. She's a good actress, and she does good again coming back. And the best thing about this movie is that it's pinned by Wes Craven. So Wes Craven knew how to handle the reintroduction of Nancy and putting her back in the fold.
Even though they did fuck his script. His original script was way more in depth. It was way fucking darker, and I would have loved to see what they did, because I can feel like...
You can feel it coming in the air?
Yeah, I feel like in my butt. Ooh, my butt knows
that's fucking straight diarrhea.
He would have taken it this direction, and the script went this direction. When we get later into the powers and the fantasy shit, I feel like he was going to go somewhere darker. But
well, we already know. I mean, every fan of the Elm Street franchise know what happened. They didn't have the money for that. They're like, "Are you fucking serious?" They're like, "Yeah." He's like,
Bob says no.
So it's like, we don't have Michael Bay money right now. We can't fucking do this. This is going to cost $3,000
million. We'll get it later though. We'll make Freddy
That's a real number,
squirrel.
baby. But anyhow, so Nancy comes back in. She stops Kirsten from, slicing up poor Max again and probably killing herself. Then Neil and her have a moment. They're talking about it. Neil's like walking around outside in the park. He's like, I really want to help these kids. I think that these kids are just really good kids, but they're disturbed. And she's like, maybe it's not a nightmare. Maybe, she's like, I know what these kids are going through and stuff. And, it's... The interaction, the chemistry between Neil and her, it never feels like a romantic thing, even though they're trying to force you that.
She's using him.
Yeah, it's obvious that he's an older, unattractive Harry and the Henderson motherfucker, and she's still got her bangable times, and she's never gonna get with him. And it's I feel bad for him in a way, because it's like, dude, you're throwing everything but the kitchen sink at her to try to get some.
I don't feel bad because he's that guy who takes himself so seriously. All I care about is these kids. But as soon as a hot piece of ass shows up, he's like, can I take you out to Thai? Every conversation they have when she talks him into her batshit crazy fucking ideas is like on a bearskin rug in front of a fucking fire drinking wine. He knows it's bullshit.
First off, it worked for Austin Powers.
He just wants to get in them 90s undies.
Those are 80s.
80s undies.
Yeah, they're
even worse.
They're not really granny panties, but they're close. But anyhow, so that goes on, and then by the way, a minor character was just beyond Max is also Elizabeth. I believe that's her name. She's the Nurse Ratchet that partners with Neil. She's not fucking the meanest person in the world, but she's just a really strict substitute teacher that you would have. Like I thought we were just gonna have a day pass. It's like, fuck your day pass. but she just feels like she'd be really mean about anything and everything. She's like, can I just please go outside and just have 5 minutes? Like, you could, but I will contact your parents and say that you're going outside without permission.
She's the kind of chick who made you eat the crust on your peanut butter and jelly sandwich because it's the most nutritious part.
That diabolical fucking whore.
Why don't I just lick the fucking curb and hope that it grates me some goddamn nutrition?
Why don't I just put a fucking nail up my butt and hope I don't get fucking syphilis?
Yeah, fuck you.
Or tetanus. So, anyway. Thank you.
Zool. So, well,
there was a monster in our refrigerator.
Let's just talk about each kid. Kincaid, I want to talk about him.
I love fucking Kincaid.
He's the one who sticks out the most, god damn it.
Let's kick this motherfucker's ass all over Dreamland.
He's in the mental hospital because he's fucking violent. Because he had a hard upbringing and he's violent as shit. Just stop it, you goddamn freezer piece of shit.
I don't need comments from the peanut gallery, bitch.
The ice gallery.
No.
What killed the dinosaurs? The Ice Age.
Anyways,
but Kincaid's a badass. Like, I love his character. He's fun. He doesn't give a shit.
you can easily latch yourself onto him and actually have a good time watching the movie. You're like, yeah, that's exactly how I'd be. You know, I'm having trouble sleeping. I don't need your fucking Ambien or Lunesta. Fuck you, bitch. Don't give me that shit. I don't want to die, okay? Understand it. But then when he starts kind of getting ideas about what, you know, they actually are having their dreams, and these superpowers that come in later on, he's like, yeah, I can maybe deal with that. But it's still good. I like him a lot. We got Joey. Joey's a mute that's really in love with a hot-ass nurse, and he wants to bang it and bang it and bang it, but he can't do that because
he's just
he can't
a horny mute dude.
Yeah, but that's really what... Joey's like that thing in Wayne's World. We're in Delaware. He's like...
Hey, I can't speak, but my dick works.
Yeah. It don't need to make sounds except for the sound of your orgasm. That's what it's going to bring. Anyway, what the fuck are we talking about? So that's Joey. You leaning awful hard, dog.
Dick don't need to talk.
Oh, fuck.
I got nothing to say. Just dick.
He going crazy. So anyway, so we got Joey. Then we've got, I'm not sure, we'll talk about Taryn, which is the bad girl, the badass girl.
I ain't never had Taryn before.
Yeah, she's Mary Poppins, y'all! But Taryn's a typical 80s, like, grungy girl.
She's
like,
hot.
Yeah, she is hot. She's got
I
some
like
hot
those
moments,
chicks.
but she's a heroin addict on top of not being able to sleep, so she's recovering there. You like them Taryn? You like them heroines. You like them heroines. But anyway, that's what her character is. Then we've got this one girl, and I can't remember her name, I'm sorry, because I didn't care. But she's the one that wants to be an actress. Yeah, she wants to be an actress after she gets out of the asylum. And, you know, Kincaid always gives her shit. He's like, what, a lifestyle of the rich and crazies? And she's like, fuck you, Kincaid.
I'm going to make it, Steven.
He's like, I'm sorry, were you on your period? It was just a joke. But anyhow, I almost boogered it out. But, anyway, and then who else was it? Who else was in that group? Oh, the dude that gets the puppets. Oh my god, what was his name?
Dude that gets the puppets?
He's like the puppet guy. He gets the cool, one of the best death scenes in the movie. Philippe is in this. Philip is...
He's your first death, so that's a perfect springboard into deaths.
Philip is an 80s guy. But he gets amazing death scene. Like, this death scene is off the charts.
One of the best of the franchise.
And it's so nasty.
Eventually, we'll do a video like going through our favorite death scenes of each franchise, and this is going to be near the top, Barbara, you son of a bitch.
It's so nasty because what happens is that Freddy, like, when they go to sleep, and Will, real quick about Will. Will's a wizard guy or whatever. He's like
into Dungeons and
Dragons, like nerdy 80s guy or whatever.
But he's in a wheelchair because he tried to kill himself. Now he's in a wheelchair.
So he took a jump. It's not like he fucking tried to shove heroin in his arms. Philip goes to sleep. Freddy becomes one of his puppets on the wall, and that was a cool morph scene. Like, you see Freddy's morph into like this, like, it was clay animation, but it was looking. And then Freddy like appears, like that's kind of freaky. Like, he jumps down, all, you know, he cuts his little ropes or whatever. He jumps on the floor, and then he like goes, and like he grows to full size at the edge of Philippe's bed. And it's like I always wanted him to say a John McClane line. I wanted him to go, welcome to the party, pal. Because you know you're in some deep shit. And he does this thing. He like throws back the covers on Philip. And he's like, he goes flip on his wrist. And then right on his fuck. And then pulls his veins up through that motherfucker's skin and walks his ass like a marionette doll.
Dude.
Oh my god.
The tendons.
Like a fucking
sticking out of the meat.
No.
That was some fucking... Just what was the dude who broke his ankle the other night for the Celtics?
I don't know.
That was nasty.
I don't want to see it.
But he fucking ripped his tendons out and he walks him and he's doing this fucking
Yeah, you can see it too. Like they focus so much. Like you can see it coming out of his wrist. But when they show a close up of his feet on the tile wood, and you can see the fucking tendons like coming out of his like top of his foot, and he's like, oh, I'm sorry.
I don't want it no more.
Oh my god.
Get away.
I want to go to the Pentecostal church. But anyhow, it was so bad. Thanks, Jesse. So we go, and then what he does, Freddy being Freddy, he's having a ball. Like he's loving torturing this motherfucker, and he's like walking him all the way out. He walks him to the edge, the very top of the institute, and he's gonna have this motherfucker jump. All the kids see him wanting to jump, and they're all screaming for him to stop. And then Freddy's like, and you can see Freddy's face in the clouds.
That's badass.
Yeah.
And they do this again in New Nightmare a little bit, but you see it's this ultimate dream sequence. It's one of those moments that's really fucking scary because it really feels like a dream somebody would have, because Freddy's goddamn gigantic motherfucker. He's a giant, and he's fucking like...
So then we move on, and then in group, we have group. And Nancy's introduced to the group, and they're all talking about shit. I mean, she's already been introduced to the group, but, you know, Neil and Nancy, they're all talking about how they have, you know, it's your dream, and you can do what you need to do, and all this shit. And
Neil looks like he should be in a shitty Colgate commercial.
Nancy is, like, basically trying to convince these people and trying to make them understand that they all have control over their dreams, that Freddy, while being a real threat, he can't take them unless they really, like, buy into his bullshit in this instance.
And nobody believes her until the deaths start actually happening.
But now, I think the next dream sequence was actually Patricia Arquette, when she pulls Nancy into the dream. Or it might have been before Philip's death, because that was the scene when Snakehead Freddy is trying to eat Patricia Arquette and then sees Nancy, is like, yeah! When Nancy pulls in, that was funny because it felt like... You could see the rage. That by the way, that special effect was really fucking good.
Yeah.
When you see Freddy's head as a worm eating Patricia Arquette, she pulls Nancy in, and he's like, "I'm trying to eat this bitch in peace." And then he sees Nancy after Nancy stabs him in the eye, and he's like, "Yeah, fuck." And then she's like, "Oh my god." And maybe I'm making a joke, but that was actually a really cool dynamic scene.
You could see it in his eyes that he knew who she was,
and I know who you are. And we know who each other are when we're going to date. When you take me to Fridays.
It's that feeling you get when you pass a cop and he looks at you and you're like, I'm getting pulled over. What's happening?
It's like, she's definitely fucking smelled the weed in my pocket.
I'm fucked.
So, anyhow, so that was, that's when we learned Kristen's real power.
And it's a great scene, too, because the practical effects, again, they shy away from this in later movies, mainly the fucking reboot. But again, the practical effects in that scene, it looks a little bit fake, but the effort put behind it is just fucking rad.
The thing about, I'm trying to think about when we actually get introduced to Amanda Krueger, because she is a pretty good portion of this, because you get introduced to a background of Freddy. The fact that Freddy Krueger was the product of a nun named Amanda Krueger getting raped by 1,000 fucking maniacs, which, I mean, I hate when that happens on Friday nights. I mean, it's just like...
We've all been there, brother.
I know. I hate being locked in a crazy room, but
it's a great fucking backstory for Freddy. It's kind of fucked up and dark and weird, but if you think about that, like he's a baby of 1,000 maniacs. It's just a...
It makes sense.
Whoever thought about that, it's like, that's that romantic moment. That's a pretty good fucking idea.
That'd be Wes Craven.
That's some sick shit.
That's that Craven of Wes.
That's some sick shit you got in that satchel bag. Hey, what's in the guitar case?
It's a guitar. It's a guitar.
I'm looking for Bucho.
Jennifer gets a really good death too. She also gets the death that screams across the generations and really gives us the powerful MTV version of Freddy Krueger, or at least the beginning of it. When she had always talked about how she wanted to be an actress after getting out of the institute, she was watching TV and Max comes in, he's like, lights out. And she's like, please Max, come on, I can't sleep, not after tonight, not after Philip. And he's like, I never saw you. And Max is a badass. Like, I like his character a lot. So she's, flipping to fucking TV, and then she starts falling asleep.
If Neil wasn't a fake-ass motherfucker, he'd be as cool as Max. But
use those cigarette burns, keep yourself awake. Not gonna work this time, bitch. And then Freddy pops up on the TV, and it goes, shit. It goes white snow.
And he's on like a talk show.
Access,
like, that really was the birth of MTV Freddy.
That was what it was. And then she's walking to TV trying to flick the dials. Freddy grows out of the TV, picks her up, is like, welcome to prime time, bitch. And throws her fucking head in there. And then Max walks in and is like, shit. Now the problem with this scene is, even though that scene's great and that saying is great, how the fuck, without a stepladder, did she get up there to kill herself?
That's the thing. When they saw that, they had to be like, "Oh, this is some supernatural shit." Because, like, I try to imagine in my head, like, how that would happen. Like, how does she get up there to that TV? She would have had to take a running start, back up against the back wall, run towards it, and dive head first. Like,
can't wait for TV.
Like a fucking dolphin.
Like a fucking dolphin. I was like, Max probably was like, she put the new Jordans on and got that fucking vertical leap of 15 feet. Because, like, if you look at her when they walk in,
got that Kyrie Irving step.
She's hanging off the fucking TV set, and her feet are dangling. This girl was like 5'4".
At the very least, someone murdered her. Someone called
she got that Muggsy Bogues fucking vertical leap.
That spud web.
She got
that spud web.
She fucking should have got the dunk contest. Fuck that shit. She got to get it vertical. Because Max is like, maybe Max's face did kind of show. He's like, damn. It's like,
there's no fucking way.
Did she have a pogo stick up her fucking shirt? She's like,
He's gonna need a rocket up his ass to catch that one.
I know, that one's out of here. If that's not Shaquille O'Neal in the outfield, That's a home run. But anyhow, so
after that, we pretty much go. I mean, most of the deaths after this happen in Dreamland, right? I mean,
they're all in Dreamland.
Everybody discovers through Nancy finally discovering with the power of her vagina, making Neil believe her, and they go into they go into sleep together, and then they jump into each other's dreams to try to help against Freddy. And this is where This is what I don't like about this movie, is they get way too fucking fantastical with it. Like, everybody has super secret dream powers.
I like super secret
and
dream
I feel like the rest of the series stole from this, and I just don't like it.
In my super secret dream...
It left a goddamn stain on the whole franchise for me.
In my super secret dream, YouTube is always subscribed to us.
Yeah, there's no demonetization on
there's
this
no
bitch.
demonetization. That's the dream. But,
What?
Hello? That's YouTube. When they find out about Amanda Krueger and everything and how it ties together, Neil and Nancy, they're doing this, Dick Tracy investigative work, and it all comes together, and they also find out that they have to get the bones on sacred ground, and they have to bury them. They have to find the bones, and the only way to find the bones is go to John Saxon and fuck yeah! Another wasted fucking dude. He's sitting in the bar, not giving a fuck. He's just like drinking. He looks like Logan. I thought like Johnny Cash was gonna come on. Like he's by himself. He's working security now. He's lost his job. Nancy comes in trying to convince him to help her with Neil, and fucking Neil's being an asshole, just sitting there like, what's wrong with you? I don't understand. And then Nancy's like, he'll never change, and she runs back to the hospital. And then, I mean, we're glazing over it. But then Neil's like, he's like, my name is Neil. He's like, you're whatever. He's like, now we've met. And he grabs him and pushes him against the wall. And John Saxon being the badass, he like slaps his hands off. Like you could see it in his face. I don't even think he was acting. He was like, motherfucker. He's like, don't touch me.
Dude,
like that.
John Saxon is a poor man's Sean Connery as James Bond.
I love that guy.
I mean, who wouldn't aspire to be that? Like, he looks like he could have played fucking Sean Connery's body double in James Bond.
He looks like he
just
eats
has
concrete.
He's a fucking man.
I know.
Like, he's just an 80s goddamn man with a heathery fucking, leathery fucking, hairy fucking chest.
Leathery too.
And he looks like he smells
He's got
like
leather skin.
He looks like he smells like brute and leather. I get that he's a downtrodden guy, but I wanted like this badass arc. He could have been the guy who really took out Freddy, who showed up and finished off the movie.
There was moment like, oh god, just looking at him, dude, he could have had such a more impact.
This moment takes Freddy out of the dreamland because someone's tickling his butthole with a feather. And he's like, oh shit, I'm going to get out of here.
I like but the thing about when they get to the junkyard and they find the body, the bones that they bury in the back of the Cadillac.
So bad.
And they throw it, he starts, and that fucking Neil guy's being an asshole to John Saxon. He's like, we got a funeral to attend, one that's long overdue. I was like, do you know what that motherfucker did, bitch? You don't deserve one, but they got to do it. So they're digging the shit out, and in the meantime, Freddy, this is where it gets loopy as fuck. Because Freddy is fucking with Kirsten and the survivors in the dream, and while doing that, he senses something. He's like, someone just, he goes, did you touch my ass?
So did
you touch my ass?
He got a finger butt.
He's like, do you want to?
Surprise finger.
And then he jumps into his bone body, and he becomes Skeletor, and he fucks up everybody. He fucks up Neil, and he fucks up John Saxon. And
like
John
2
Saxon
seconds,
is like, John Saxon's got this cool line. He's like, you son of a bitch, I know who you are, and I took you down before, and I'll take you down again. And then he's like, bitch slap, and then he hits the fucking spike.
John Woo flies
and I'm like,
spike.
oh shit, he's already
dead.
dead. And then Neil gets like slapped in the fucking head with the shovel. That shit was funny because it looked like Sanford and Son. He slaps him, he's like, oh. And it looked fake as fuck.
And then the Freddy effect as a skeleton looked terrible.
Yeah,
he looked like one of the Evil Dead 2 skeletons. Like, let's get down to fear.
Yeah, it was like stop motion animation. It was really bad. It was a B movie. And then Freddy goes, and then it's like, you didn't even make sure he was dead. And then he jumps back to the dream world. Well, that's where we leave our heroes right now. Will they survive? We'll find out in a few minutes. But jumping back to the dream world sequence, okay? So the reason why they're even going back into the dream world is because Kirsten's been locked in the quiet room, and they know that she's going to go to sleep eventually. So Nancy has an emergency group meeting and tells all the others, look, we all have these special abilities and dreams. I'm going to hypnotize your bitch asses. And also Joey, we didn't mention Joey.
Joey died from the hot chick's boobies.
Joey, he didn't die yet, but he's almost going to die.
You motorboat son of a bitch.
Joey left the group early on the first time they went into hypnosis.
He's been the quietest boat ever.
I know. No, you ain't even making sounds.
Yeah, it doesn't even require that. How do you motorboat silently? It's impossible.
You just be your face movie.
In my dreams, I can motorboat all day.
Joey walked off, and I can't blame Joey. He saw this hot-ass nurse walking down the hallway. He's like, fuck this crazy group shit. I needs to fucking have sex.
No regrets.
And that girl's smoking, dude. That girl's hot as hell. And she throws him on the bed. She's like, takes her shit off, man. Perfect boobs. Like, just looking hots tonight. And then he gets, unfortunately, it's Freddy he's making out with, and Freddy, like, captures it. So now, fast forward back to where we were.
It's a badass scene though when he's hanging on the bed and hell's beneath him. Really cool fucking.
That actually is such symbolic of what it's like to maybe think that you're making out with a really hot girl, but you find out she's really fucking ugly, and when you actually realize it, you're hanging above hell. You're like, oh shit, she's on top of me. At any moment you could fall, but. So at this point, now we're back where we were, and she gets them all together again. They go into the dream world. They help Kristen and to rescue Joey. And we also get to see a little bit more. We saw beforehand, they all introduced, like, you know, Kincaid's super strong in his dream. Taryn is, like you said, beautiful and bad with fucking switchblades. I don't know what that means. I guess you listen to a lot of Joan Jett and have switchblades. I hope you have a license.
Cherry
and then,
bomb.
Will, we didn't talk much about him because I mean, he's just a nerdy guy in this story.
He's Count Dracula.
Yeah, he's got like, you know, in my dream, magic is real.
Freddy took care of that shit real quick, though.
Freddy took care of that real quick.
He's like, I don't play D&D, or whatever the fuck he said. Kills them off. Real
quick. He's like, I am the wizard master, and starts running at Freddy.
You're not, bitch.
But that was a cool scene, though. I did like the fact that Freddy shows that wheelchair. He's like, when you wake up, it's back in the saddle again. Yeah! I was thinking of the song. And then he, like, runs at him, and Freddy fucking faked his ass out so hard. I was like, oh! And then he was like, and, like, fucking stabs his ass, kills him. And then
bye, Harry Potter.
Taryn's got one of the cooler death scenes. Like, Taryn is like in an alleyway and she sees this guy get up and he's like, let's get high.
Right up there with You're All My Children Now with the fire shot behind him. When he does that and he has those fucking needles for fingers.
And when she, you know, when he looks at her arms, like all the needle points where she's done heroin.
You've been through some shit.
So I go, he's like, I do what you want, Sid. And then he like sticks it in there. He's like, what a rush. I felt like we were in Legion of Doom. WWF is like, oh, what a rush! But she gets a cool death scene, and then we're left with just Kincaid, Kirsten, Nancy, and Joey. And Joey's still captured at this point. Eventually, they do save Joey. They get him off, like he almost falls or whatever. And Kincaid doesn't do much really, except for like burst through a wall. But
I would at least like a nice Freddy kidney punch with like super strength.
Yeah, and this girl's like, "Can I love to see you. I could kiss you." He's like, "What's stopping you?"
I like that.
Like, yeah. So it was whatever. He burst through a fucking drywall. Yeah. I mean, I could do that in my real life, but it's drywall.
Like the fucking Kool-Aid man.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Anyway, so they rescue Joey, and then they're going through the dream world again, and these dream sequences are cool. Like, you know, the effects, like, I think there's a pig on the table and it moves, like, early on in the movie. They did a lot of cool stuff to kind of freak you out.
Yeah.
But then all of a sudden they go to the Hall of Mirrors, and Freddy pops up and he's like, I'm everywhere, because he won American Idol, so he's really happy with himself. And so he starts grabbing each one and, you know, bringing them into his mirror world. He grabs Nancy, he grabs Kristen, he grabs Kincaid, leaving Joey alone, and we haven't discovered Joey's power yet, and what his power is to go, no!
I thought it was going to be Super Boner.
Yeah, I thought he was going to turn into Super Saiyan.
He screams, he's banshee, he screams, and Freddy runs away for a minute, then you go back to the junkyard scene, but after all this shit's happening and it comes back around, what's fucked up is that they think that they've stopped him now. Like, oh, we did it. Good job, team. Fuck yeah, let's go. Let's have some Capri Suns in the sun out of the pool
you guys
after a soccer game.
I just want to ask, like, if I'm not the leader of the group, but I just want to point out that we just fucking broke some mirrors. I don't think he's dead.
Yeah.
He's a supernatural entity that lives in dreams.
Saxon fucking floats down as a hairy-chested angel from light, and it comes down. And actually, I was pissed first time I saw this because I was like, I was like, did that motherfucker just float down from heaven into the goddamn dreamland to see his daughter one night? Like, what the fuck kind of fantastical Final Fantasy bullshit is this?
Red Bull gives you wings.
Jesus Christ. Like, I like John Saxon, but goddamn, let it die.
You don't need that.
So he floats into the picture and he's like, Nancy, I'm sorry I've been a drunk asshole. I love you. But fucking Freddy shows up in a badass scene, and actually that's a really cool way to kill off Nancy. She was stupid as fuck, so she kind of deserved it. Like, who believes that shit's happening?
Yeah, Nancy runs to Freddy, hugs her, kills her, and then Freddy does this ultimate, like, pimp slap thrown away, because Kristen's like, no, and he's like, yuck! And he's like, I killed that bitch finally. And then Kristen whoops his ass, or starts whipping his ass, and then Neil wakes the fuck up and actually does something useful. He like crawls out of the grave that Freddy was trying to bury him in, that he was originally going to give for Freddy. He opens up the bottle of holy water. It's like, in the name of the Father and Spirit, and does the consecration. And Freddy gets like light coming through him. The cross comes on his forehead. And he basically blows up in a ball of light, which is what we all hope to do when we have a good person in sexual needs.
That's fucking terrible.
And then that's the end. I don't remember the bonus bullshit.
In the midst of all this, he does fuck with Patricia Arquette's character a little bit. And one line that we forgot to say that's one of the greatest lines of the fucking franchise is, we mentioned the scene where the guy's like, well, seriously, where's the bourbon? Freddy shows up in that fucking suit as Bob, and he was like, yeah, bitch, where's the fucking bourbon? And that was a great line.
It goes back to just being a guy. I'm like, I just want some fucking bourbon.
Everybody talks about the Welcome to Primetime bitch, man, but nobody ever mentions, where's the fucking bourbon?
They actually made a figurine with him in the tuxedo. Yeah. It was unique. You never seen Freddy like that before. Freddy was like, fuck yeah, I'm in this dream. I'm fully immersed into it. It's good times.
It's the end where they're at the funeral, and then the nun shows back up. I'm just like, what the fuck? The nun shows back up or whatever. Or one way or another, they realize that nun was Amanda Krueger. That's his dad. That's the big reveal. So, man, this whole movie, like, just in a nutshell, man, it's a fucking great movie at times. I feel like I would have loved to see Wes Craven's original script for it, because I feel like the mental institute, the mental hospital, the group of kids was amazing. The setting was awesome. Freddy was a fucking badass. The effects were really good up until we got to that goddamn magical 80s like fucking Harry Potter shit.
I still like that.
I really liked it all. Loved it all. Loved it. Like up until the, even though Neil was fucking annoying, that piece of shit. Up until the fantastical shit in Freddy's Dungeon Below in Dreamland. I really didn't like that they introduced the superpowers in your sleep thing. I don't know. I never liked that in the franchise, but ultimately for me, this movie is fucking still awesome. It's one of the best of the franchise. I give it a really, really fucking strong 8.0.
I'm gonna give it 8.5. It's not my favorite. No, actually, it is my favorite of the series, but it's not my favorite story of the series. I always give that to the first one. Like, I think the first one tells the story exactly right and tells the story exactly the way it needs to be to introduce Freddy Krueger to everybody's mental, like exactly what he's gonna be, what he's gonna be in the future. I think that the first one is the perfect horror story to give us Freddy Krueger, but the third one is so fantastical and it's so fun, it's so different. We actually explore the dream world in a way that we've never done before. Now, we've already mentioned in the first one and the second one that this dream world does exist. And you always think that, well, Freddy has all these superpowers in these dreams. Well, in your dreams, I think that's what Wes Craven was going for. You do have your own version of a power, or your own version of happiness that gives you this inner strength. And I think that's what he was going for with his script. Now, obviously, we didn't get his full unedited script because it cost too much money. But still, overall, it's a strong entry into the series itself. The first 3 movies of Nightmare on Elm Street are the best of all of them. I mean, for sure, except for maybe A New Nightmare. But it's still the best of all. And this one, to me, just it gave me so much of the 80s that I needed. I needed this!
It had the best 80s feel of all the movies.
And, it wasn't just the main characters that were great. It was even the secondary characters that... we had Lawrence fucking Fishburne as Max, and even that chick that was Elizabeth that wanted to be Nurse Ratchet's cousin and couldn't pull it off, she still was good. There was so much supportive actresses and actors going on in this movie that really made the movie good. And the special effects and the practical effects set it apart as some of the best and creepiest in the series so far. And at the end of the day, I know that it's probably... I would say it's probably the most popular of the Nightmare series. I mean, because if you have Nightmare 1, everybody loves, and Nightmare 2, but Nightmare 3 it's like the Disneyland version of Nightmare. Not meaning that it's like corny or kiddish, but it's like the Disneyland version.
It's got the most DNA of every movie in the franchise in one, for sure.
So, yeah. I had a good time. I had a great time.
Comment down below with your all's thoughts on this movie. Do you like the fantastical effects part of it, or do you wish they just never introduced that his victims had superpowers in his dreams? Comment down below. Let us know. We love your fucking faces. And if you're new to the channel, click that subscribe button and get some goddamn fuck, man. Shit.
I wasn't scared. You were scared.
Have you some of that instant coffee by the spoon?
Give me those coffee grains now.
Hey, man,
eat some.
You scared of spiders? You scared of rubber spiders? You scared of rubber spiders on strings?
We watched a movie. We watched a movie. We watched it. We watched a movie. Yeah. You know what? We did a review. We watched a movie. We watched a movie.